Free to play.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Free to Play PC Games overview of the character creation system for the wizard in the game Riders of Icarus. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. We'll jump right in. One of the most enjoyable elements about this game is the character customization. So we'll go ahead and get started here. On the right hand side, you can see there's a number of different presets already available for you. So if this isn't something that you're interested in, you can go ahead and pass on, but I would really recommend that you dive pretty deep into this system and give it a shot. So over here on the left hand side, you can see, so this is the bare bones, and you can use this as a judgment for when you're actually doing the customization, so you can see how tall you want to make it, and so you can see without the different outfits being on. Alright, and then I assume that these are outfits that are going to be used or can be used later on in the game. Alright. Again, this is for the female wizard. And then this is what you're starting out with. Alright. So as you can see here, again, we'll start an overall in the presets. So you have the different presets that are available here. And we'll jump in a little bit closer here so we can see the different. So as well as just overall presets, we also have just face presets available. Alright, so you're sticking with that first preset in terms of everything else, but changing up the face here. Okay. And then once you've changed everything else, you can come back up here to change the hair. Alright, you can see all the different styles here that are available. And sometimes it is good to use this when you're doing some of the customization later on, so you can see the entirety of the face and the ears and everything, and then come back on and put the hair on. But for purposes right now, we'll go ahead and select the hair, and then of course you can change the color. Alright, as well as the shade of that color. So the build section here is basically just a template or a preset for body size. So again, height, the girth, all of the different presets that you can customize later on that I'll show you in a minute here. But again, just a good idea so you can see if you don't want to get too in depth on the actual body size, you can select one of these here if that's going to fit your needs. Okay, and then as well you have the skin color part of the character customization. You can change that and go through that at your leisure. Alright. So one of the great parts about it is the in-depth face customization. So let's go back, and I'll actually pick a hair here so that we can see the face. Alright, so we'll use that so we can see a little bit more of the face, and you'll get an idea of how you can really customize your character. Alright, so we'll get close in there. And so the first part of the face that you'll customize is the eyebrows here. So you can select from the different types of eyebrows, of course. Alright, and just like in the hair, you can actually select those and change that into different colors. Go ahead and select that. And then select the brightness as well that you would like. Okay. You can also select different types and shades of eye color and eyeshadow. Again, changing the brightness of those, as well as changing the actual style on the eye. Okay. We'll go with something a little more subtle here. Alright. Next, you can change a little bit more about the eyes, the pupil shape. Alright, so you can go a little bit larger. You can go smaller. You can go cat eye. Or no pupil at all. And again, you can change the actual color of the iris. Alright, let's use a pupil here as an example. Changing an color of the iris and the sclera. So that part is normally white there in between that. We can change that as well. So as you can see right away before we even get started, we can really do a lot to customize and make the character feel like they're our own. And so this is something I really enjoy about the game. Just spending the time in here to make sure that you've done it right. You got a great character that you're going to enjoy playing. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the mouth. So again, some presets here for the lip shape, and of course the color of the lips as well. All right. The last part of the presets here that we have different types of tattoos. All right, and these are for just the face. Okay, so some of them you're gonna have to move around here to see. Right, some of them a little bit less detailed, just like the dot here. And then some are gonna be in the entire face. Okay. So I'll go ahead and leave mine blank for now. Okay, so we'll back out here and we'll get into the custom area where you can build your own sets for everything. You don't have to use the actual presets. Alright, so we'll back out and go for the build. And again, we'll just go through and explain everything. The head size. Again, you can get real creative here, so take some time and make sure you get everything right so that you are looking as crazy or as non-crazy as you'd like to be out there in the world. Okay. So we'll go ahead and back out here again. So this is overall height. Okay. Actual width of the neck. You can see that changing there. The length of the neck. How broad the shoulders are. We'll get a little bit of action here. A little bit of the chest. Okay, so yes, you can do this. But we'll move on. The waist. The width of the, I should say, the length of the torso. The width of the hips. And then you can see the arms here from the side. Alright, so the width or the girth of the arms, both upper, alright, and lower. So a little bit more closer to the forearm, and as you can see, it's changing all the way down to the arm, down to the hands as well. So you can have longer or shorter arms. Alright, we can see from the side here on the hands. So again, it's a little bit of the girth of the hands and the forearm there. Same thing with the thighs, the girth of the thighs. Alright, we'll come back out, take a look at this angle here. So you can also change the girth and size of the calves. The length of the legs. Okay, so how much of the height is the legs and the upper torso. You can kind of mess around with those angles. Alright, and then the feet as well, so the size of the feet. Alright. And then overall girth. And it does look a little bit proportional. And then the last one is the actual proportion. So if you're trying to make something small, you want to make it a little bit smaller, you can go with that. Or all the way up to bigger. So again, you can mess around with the proportions there at the end. So don't get too caught up in the actual height up here when you can mess around with the proportions. Okay. So again, that's just for the overall kind of body size and shape. We're going to get down to the actual customization for the face here as well. So the jaw size and the shape. Okay, so you can see that. Pointiness or width of the chin there. The length of the chin. The cheekbones, and then the size of the cheeks as well. Okay. Then we can get down to customizing the eyes. So again, you may have found a preset that you like, but then you can customize it even more, and that's what I like about this system, is it helps you get really precise and exactly what you're looking for. Okay. So again, overall size of the eyes. Same thing with the size of the iris. The protrusion here. So how far is it protruding out of the skull? How far apart or how close together the eyes are. height of the eyes. Alright, now this is the inner depth, and this is talking about basically this area here of the eye. You can see that kind of move there. So how far that goes in towards the bridge of the nose. And then what direction that is going in as well. Alright, the outer tilt, so that's this outer edge here of the eye. What way that's pointing. Again, a little bit more customization on the eyebrow, so how far up. You can see how much the emotion plays into it as well. You can go from angry to sad or concerned, right? How are they going to look throughout their normal time in the world? Alright, so the length there of the brow width. Alright, then the upper and then the lower eyelids as well. Alright, so then we have the bridge. So how wide is that going to be? Alright, overall length of the nose. Keep going back and forth here so that you can see. Sometimes you're going to need to tilt it to see the full effect that it really has on the look of the character. Okay. Again, the overall size of the nose, and maybe we want to go back here and see. Alright, so not much there, and really can't tell much from the side. I guess how much protrusion there is. So, alright. So you can get an idea there. Alright, the tip tilt, so how much the edge of the nose is going up or down. We'll leave that in the middle. The actual size of the end of the nose there. And then the flare. So how much flare is coming out of those nostrils. Alright, so that's the nose. And then for the mouth. So again, like I said, there's a preset for different types of mouths, but then you can come here and change a bunch of different types of the actual things that you're going to be looking at for what goes into the mouth setting. So you have the overall size, okay, the philtrum, so the part above the lip and below the nose there, how large is that? Well, let's grab the upper lip, so the size of the upper lip, or how much that's coming up. Same thing with the lower lip, size there. So how the upper lip is shaped, so you can see how much that curve is changing, and then the size of the lower shape as well can be changed. So again, we have an option here for protrusion. So what is that? How much is it coming out of the bottom of the face there? And then we can just change the overall shape of the lips. I see it better at a different angle here, maybe. Yeah. Alright, so like I said, so many different options that are available to you here when you're first starting out the game as a wizard, doing the character customization. You really get a chance to make it feel like it's your own character and get started with the game. So I hope this was of use to you guys. Please subscribe to the channel, check it out. We'll be doing some more videos and hopefully soon some PvP with this game. I'd really like to get into it. Started a wizard, you can check out our other video as well. So hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you later.